And I will suggest that under this proposal, where we can end any executive order at any time, this majority will continue 0 times in taking that authority. They're relying on a governor saying he has to report to the majority, 2 people here and 2 people in the assembly, 4 people. No requirement that any of the rest of us get informed. Allows those 4 people to comment back to him on extension, modification, or altering of any one of his 96 executive orders. And he has to receive those comments. And he can ignore those comments. And he's ignored the legislature for a year, and he will continue to do so. And we're going to allow that, knowing that he's lied to us and the people of the state of New York repeatedly over the course of a year. Has he listened to any comments? We don't need to write. We're legislators. We're elected. We don't need permission to comment on legislation. We, on this side of the aisle, and myself, we've been commenting all year on deaf ears from the executive. We have moved 21 times to terminate his executive powers. Every Democrat for 21 times has voted against that. The majority has not moved to limit any one of these executive orders and will not in the future, I'm sure of it. You know, the most devastating thing the governor did in this pandemic was his March 25th order ordering COVID-positive hospital patients into nursing homes. Over 9,000 COVID-positive patients were sent into nursing homes. The governor came out on that with a false report in July. And it's being reported as of yesterday from the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal that the governor and his executive staff pressured the Department of Health to make that report look better. Because at the time, the governor was worried more about selling his novel about leadership and handling a pandemic. Yet this legislature stands here today and continues to do nothing. Talk about not responding to comments. March 26th, the day after this executive order, after the order sending hospital positive patients into nursing homes, the very day after, the American Medical Directors Association, the Society of Post-Acute and Long-Term Care, the association that oversees and is the association nationally of nursing homes in this country, came out with a statement that was delivered to the governor and Howard Zucker that said that order is not consistent with science and not in the least consistent with patient safety principles. It was March 26th. No action was taken by the executive in response to those comments from the Professional Medical Association that oversees this. It was reported in July, upon the retirement of the Department of Health's Division of Nursing Homes Director, Mark Kissinger, 34-year veteran of the Department of Health overseeing nursing homes in the state. On his retirement, reported, he had nothing to do with that March 25th order. Who did? That's why we've been asking for subpoenas. That's why we demand an investigation, a legislative investigation by the Investigations and Government Operations Committee that I am the ranking member on, and which the chair of that committee refuses to issue subpoenas. Upon the reporting yesterday from the New York Times and Wall Street Journal on the fraudulent nature of that report that was issued in July, that led to a mass exodus from the Department of Health in the succeeding months. Those individuals need to be called to testify before the Senate Investigations Committee as to what went on, why, and how they were pressured to make that report better for the governor. We had 15,000 plus nursing home residents die of COVID in this state. And the governor wants us to believe that sending 9,000 COVID positive hospital patients into nursing homes didn't affect that number at all. That flies in the face of common sense. It's not rational. And the Empire Center has established that in its reporting on the numbers when they were finally released. 7 months later, after a lawsuit, after the governor and the Department of Health stonewalling the legislature and the Empire Center from getting this information that they're legally entitled to receive. Yet, this legislature, this Senate, continues to do nothing and continues today to allow the governor to continue every 30 days to extend, modify, or alter every existing executive order that's there today indefinitely. It doesn't end April 30th like it was going to. Now it's indefinitely until the governor decides that he's not going to do it anymore, because this legislature isn't going to stop him. He can continue every 30 days or shorter, as long as he gives us notice, modify and alter these executive orders. He could change the curfew time. He changed it once already from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock. Can somebody tell me the medical or scientific rationale that COVID now only comes out at 11 o'clock rather than 10 o'clock? It's sleeping in an hour later every day. It's a farce. And this Senate is continuing that to happen. This governor's executive orders telling us how many people we can have in our home. He just modified it 2 days ago. That we could still only have 10 people in our home. This is the United States of America, people. This is not rationally based. There is no scientific or medical evidence that the governor has provided. And he continues to lie with us. He continues to be power hungry. He can say how long restaurants and bars can be open. He can say how many people can gather in a church, how many people can gather in your home, how many people can be in a restaurant. He can modify or alter any one of the existing executive orders. He can relax them, or he can make them even more restrictive, with us being able to do nothing other than comment. This legislation requires no legislative approval of any of the governor's action on these existing executive orders that we have today. And this is dangerous times, people. The governor is under siege with his nursing home debacle that killed thousands of extra people unnecessarily, sexual harassment accusations of the governor and his staff threatening legislative members to get off his back, to change their stories, the history of abuse of staff in his office, of abusing reporters because they're going to do some damaging story. And we sit back and we do nothing. The governor continues his executive powers unlimited. And we get the right to comment, which he can ignore completely. And we have no way to stop him other than a concurrent resolution of the Assembly and the Senate that we've proven they refuse to do. And they refuse to get involved in the operation of government. Checks and balances of this executive and legislative branches. We do nothing. We say we have a zero-tolerance policy on sex harassment accusations. Yet, the leader of this Senate yesterday said, well, if a fourth victim comes out, then the governor should resign. Since when does zero tolerance take 4 victims. It's appalling. It's an outrage the way this legislature is operating. We need investigations. We need the Senate and the legislature doing these investigations, despite what other investigations may or may not be going on. We don't know the subject matter of those. We need to be engaged in the oversight of this executive that's abused his powers and will likely do anything to buy his way out of this. And when the majorities in this House and in the Assembly have a $50 billion tax increase package out there, just exactly what is this majority getting for laying down and doing nothing today and trying to lead people to believe that they're doing something? It's a farce, and the people of New York State know it. Thank you, Mr. President.